Shalawam, shalawam. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, and shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. It's your brother Yeremi Kazak back with hopefully another edifying lesson through the spirit, power, and strength of Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham Kakadash. All right, let's get it started. This is Ezekiel 4:13. And Yahawah said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I would drive them. Now, those Gentiles is referring to the heathen nations, all right, that these nations that we have been driven into, these other countries, these other places, right, all over this earth, scattered amongst the heathen, okay, as it lets you know in Deuteronomy 28 and 64, okay. And Yahawah shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Okay? So we are right now among heathen nations. We are right now scattered. We are not together as a people, but we are all over this planet. But the bulk of the tribes, according to Genesis, the 49th chapter, right? All right. And let's read it at the top. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel, your father. And then he goes in to tell us, characteristics and traits where we will be at in what? In the last days, as it tells you, which shall befall you in the last days. So this gives you a rundown of where individuals would be, and then furthermore, you have to go into secular history to understand the transatlantic slave trade, second Esdras, the 13th chapter, verse 40, all right, seeing where the northern kingdom took it upon themselves to leave the Assyrian captivity and to come to the Americas, right? So with that all being said, the bulk of the tribes are in the Americas, right? And then, but understanding that, like I said earlier, as the scripture stated, we are scattered around this planet. Now, in these different nations, they don't follow Leviticus, the 11th chapter, right? They don't follow the dietary laws about animals for food, okay? Certain animals are considered food. Certain animals are not considered food, all right? I'm not going to go into this too much, but it's just letting you know once you go through this chapter, what you can eat, what you can't eat. Certain things are deemed as unclean, certain things are clean. They're able to be ingested. They're able to be food. Not everything is food. You shouldn't be out here eating shark, camel, pig, shrimp, lobster, crab, shellfish. You shouldn't be out here eating those type of things. Okay? But Yahawah Shem Yahawashi has sanctified and He has made certain things edible for you. Now, with all that being said, I have a video to play going into what the elite, all right, so-called elite of this planet, they want you to eat. So I'm gonna just let it play, and then we can discuss it. I may stop it here and there, and we can discuss this nonsense, man. Lancet Commission just revealed what they're calling the Planetary Health Diet. Basically, it's a global plan for how they think everyone should eat, supposedly to save the planet and to improve human health. They're claiming that if this diet were enforced worldwide, it could prevent 40,000 early deaths a day, cut food-related greenhouse gas emissions in half by 2050, and help feed the planet's projected 9.6 billion people by 2050. This honestly sounds like the start of a bad joke, but when you look at who's bankrolling it, you start to realize the scientists at Eat Lancet could not be more serious. But we'll get to that later. Okay, so billion people by 2050. This honestly sounds like the start of a bad joke, but when you look at who's bankrolling it, you start to realize this. All right. Now, what did she say? Who's bankrolling it? So who's funding it? Who has the bank? Who's putting the bank behind it? One I want to look at, well, a couple of them, is the B&M Foundation. All right, as you can see it on the screen, that's who's bankrolling it. That's who's behind it. Now, these individuals are notorious for telling you to eat bugs. Right? They have cockroach milk. They're developing artificial food that's being 3D printed. All right, they're giving you artificial. They've been giving you artificial lambs, artificial cows, all this type of stuff since the 90s, man. This is heavily documented, right? And now they're giving you artificial food, artificial meat. Same thing, but more so meat that's not really meat. Okay. It was a case that came out last year where a lot of the lamb in these restaurants in America is not lamb. Okay, you're most likely eating beef or you're eating artificial. You're eating stuff that's fake. This is an artificial society. I went into that at camp. It's very fake. Okay, because the earth rejects Esau. It does not like Esau. So the plants, the food, all of that is GMO. You got GMO food, GMO animals out here, fake animals, cloned animals. Okay, and then as you see at the top, the Barak, right? They're nothing more than a front for the elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Kissingers, et cetera, DuPonts. All right, these individuals that are funding them. This is an investment firm where all of their money is placed, and they can place it and push it where they want to. BlackRock and Vanguard are the two largest investment firms on this planet. Okay, this is where the elites, have a lot of their money, and that's just, these are nothing but fronts, man. Then you got these other corporations, which, hey, look at this one, the Rockefeller Foundation, right? It's all starting to make sense. Okay, IKEA, Novo Nordisk. I don't know too much about Novo Nordisk or Children's Investment Firm Foundation, but I guarantee if I did some research upon them, I'm gonna find some dirt. All right, but basically these are just fronts for the elites, and they're pushing this worldwide doctrine, this worldwide diet, which, hey, I don't see it far-fetched to be implemented during the NWO, New World Order, which is coming very soon, man. All right, which their enterprise is not going to be able to stand. The Most High is going to destroy it, but they're going to, for a time, they're going to try to bring it in. All right, they're going to try to make it mandatory of what you can eat. Okay, now let's listen to what more she got to say, because there's some good points that she's about to make.
Scientists at Eat Lancet could not be more serious, but we'll get to that later. Okay, so this comes straight out of their own report. And get this, the authors, many of whom proudly call themselves ethical vegans, are saying that most of your calories should come from grains, about 775 calories out of a 2,000 calorie diet. Translation: bread, rice, cereal, repeat. Then right behind that.
And okay, hey, that's 100% incorrect. Right? That right there is going to slow your body down. It's going to have you feeling sluggish. That's too much damn starch. Starch destroys you in that sense. Too much of it. Okay? Yeah, you need fiber and all of that. It's good for digestion, but you got to have a balance. Let's go to the scriptures. Scriptures talk about having a balance. Proverbs 11 and 1. A false balance is abomination to Yahawah, but a just weight is his delight. So you need to have a balance in everything that you do. All right, don't be over righteous, don't be over wicked, right? Don't fringes every damn day everywhere. That's foolishness. You got a lot of these camps out here that's just over righteous, all right, because they don't properly understand the scriptures. They're not true men of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, and these individuals that's following behind them are led, right? Just led into silliness, right? Into folly. So you got to have a balance. Now in your diet, you got to have a balance. You can't just eat fruit every single day. That's not going to be good for you. Right? That's why you see these individuals, I'm going to go on a fruit diet. I'm going on a fruit smoothie diet. Oh, okay. Yeah, you could do that. All right, it's not bad for you, but fruits are not made for you to consistently eat that every single day. That's why you got these individuals like a Yaki Awaken, that promotes that. All right? And you just fruit this, fruit that, fruit. It's nothing wrong with meats. It's nothing wrong. Hey, how you gonna partake in the Passover, which is coming up? Well, you gotta eat the lamb, right? Lamb is actually good for you, All right, lamb, shoot, chicken, beef, venison, right? Deer, you know what I'm saying? Same thing. So these products out here are made and they're ordained by the Most High for you to receive, as the scripture states. What's that? 1 Timothy. Let me go get that. 4, right here for verse 3. I started at the top. Now the Spirit speaketh expressively that in the latter times, in these last days, some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Right? As it's going to talk about that veganism or that vegetarianism. Right? You want to be a vegetarian, you want to be a vegan. Hey, maybe for a time frame where you're cleansing out your body, so you're just eating fruits and vegetables, nuts, berries, all that type of stuff. Okay, good. Right? But like I'm stating, it's nothing wrong with the meat. It's nothing wrong with eating meat. Okay? It's been ordained. If the Most High gave it to you, it's good. Verse 2, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats, which Yahawah hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. So you can take in certain meats that the Most High has ordained. He did not ordain everything, right? For every creature of power is good, and nothing to be refused if it be received with thanksgiving. For it is sanctified by the word of Yahawah and prayer. All right, that doesn't mean you pray over the pig and now it's good. No, it goes back to Leviticus the 11th chapter. What was deemed clean, what was deemed unclean. Okay. Now, what they're trying to give you in this, you're going back to it. All right, let's go back to it. It's probably in the middle of that.
We'll get to that later. Okay, so this comes straight out of their own report. 2,000 calorie diet. Translation: bread.
Right here. Bread. Now, if you know anything about this bread they got today, it's full of sugar. Full of sugar. What does sugar do to you? I'm talking about the glucose, the false sugar, the artificial. It breaks you down, especially for a kid. It makes them slow. It affects their brain. So it's not gonna be healthy for you. Cereal, shoot, that right there, that's not necessary. Okay, yeah, you got good cereal out there, but most of the shit is bullshit. Rice Krispies, Fruit Loops, Cinnamon Toast, all that is bullshit. This main brand stuff, nah, man, it's trash. All right, the rice is fake. It's plastic. That's why you got so much damn plastic in your head. Right? You drinking from plastic water bottles. You ingesting all the plastic, and now you eating the rice that's just full of it's plastic. It's going back to Ezekiel 4:13. The foul bread. Okay, the bread is full of sugar. That's the foul bread, and the bread in that context is talking about all this food is defiled. All right, let's let it rip.
Rice, cereal, repeat. Then right behind that, seed oils. Literally the same oils that were originally designed for engine lubricant and the same oils that are linked to inflammation and chronic disease are now a core food group. And to top it all off, a big chunk of your remaining calories comes from, and you're gonna love this one, sugar. So basically over half your diet would be grains, seed oils, and sugar. And believe it or not, fruits and vegetables only represent a tiny portion of this diet, just over 10%. Even most vegans I know would take issue with that. And come on, I am an ex-vegan here. I used to be vegan for 6 whole years. Predominantly what I ate, like 90% of my diet were whole foods. And I was a whole foods plant-based vegan. So most of my diet was fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, some rice, starches, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and lots of vegetables steamed. How can only 10% be fresh fruits and vegetables? So now
That's wow. Understanding that is extremely wow. Now, let's talk about that vegan. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with um abstaining from meats for a time period, right? Because understanding in Sirach, the 37th chapter, it'll tell you that too much meats is bad for you. Okay, so you shouldn't eat meat every day. You can take breaks and all of that because it will bring sickness. Because as we know, yeah, it adds up and it creates inflammation and all of that. Okay, So, with that being said, on the vegan side or the vegetarian side, they have certain things like Impossible Meat, Beyond Meat. Now, who is that funded by? That same company that we talked about in the beginning, the B and M G Foundation. All right, Bill and Melinda Gates. Okay, they have came and they put their stamp on that Impossible Meat, the Beyond Burger, and all of that type of stuff. Burger King is, you know, um, aligned with them to sell that meat. All right, so this is being pushed. It's false. It's artificial burgers, man. You know, and it's not good for you. A lot of this vegan stuff is replaced. The ingredients in it is worse than real meat. But you got these individuals, y'all so woke, you know, but you're really extremely ignorant and extremely dumb. And you're just full of arrogance. You think you're eating something good, but you're not. All right, you're more so doing more damage to your body, changing your hormones, changing the way that you're supposed to act. That's why you meet a vegan individual, a man, that nigga gonna be soft as hell, man. You don't got no damn testosterone. Where you getting your testosterone from? Okay, and you can get testosterone from, hey, for brothers that coconut water. I shoot, nuts. Yeah, you want some nuts? Eat some nuts. All right, Brazil nuts, pistachios, walnuts, pecans, and I ain't talking about none of that planters, all that over sugar, oversaturated with salt mess. Nah, that mess is BS. Try to get some natural nuts, man. Out of Whole Food store, as she talked about, right? You need to get that stuff not full of salt. All right, let's keep it going.
Talk about the foods they definitely do not want you eating. Because if grains, seed oils, and sugar make up the bulk of this so called planetary health diet, guess what's getting pushed out? Meat, eggs, dairy, and animal fat. You get about 100.
And hey, Slocky for always stopping it, but I gotta talk on it. Eggs are extremely beneficial to the body, bro. Eggs are full of protein. Okay? Me myself, I eat about 18 eggs a week. All right. It's full of energy. Boy, you eat some eggs. I make an omelet in the morning, man. And I don't eat nothing else the rest of the day until like dinner time. Or I just chill. I just don't eat nothing else. Right? So eggs, I make what I'm saying? I'll make it around lunchtime. Cause I do homeschool with the kids. So we'll eat an omelet 3 times a week, and kids be full. They only eat once during school. But you send your kid to school, they getting breakfast, lunch. They getting breakfast and lunch. You don't supposed to eat right when you wake up. Okay? That's another thing that America. How you gonna allow them to give you another diet when they already fucked up the last one? Okay? They gave you this one, this pyramid, this triangle, this food pyramid with all this BS. Now they want to go and change it and give you all this other stuff. And the lady that said eggs was bad, she said it in the 50s or 60s. It came out to be a lie. She was paid to say that. Ain't nothing wrong with eggs, man. It raises your cholesterol. No, it don't. All right? Ain't nothing wrong with eating eggs. All right? It's full of protein. Let's keep it going.
Calories a day from dairy. So, hey, maybe a few sips of milk or half a slice of cheese. When it comes to eggs, you're allowed 20 calories, and that's about a third of an egg. And for meat, real meat like beef, pork, or lamb, you get 15 grams. That's less than half an ounce. Fish? Even less. And if that's not bad enough, animal fat is practically eliminated. 0 to 5 grams a day, an abysmally small amount. So you won't starve immediately, but your body won't have the building blocks it needs for energy, hormones, brain function, or even basic satiety. Now, here's why it sounds like a joke to me. Look at the countries already closest to this planetary health diet and judge for yourself. The pattern is not pretty, and it's not theoretical. It's happening now. Take, for example, India, where over 80% of adults limit meat in some way, either by avoiding certain meats or skipping it altogether. As a result, India has one of the lowest per capita meat consumption rates globally, and in Instead, they rely heavily on grains, legumes, and nuts. Exactly what this planetary diet calls for. What are the results? Let's take a look. India has some of the highest rates of heart disease and diabetes. A significant portion of the population is stunted. Many suffer from mental disorders, and fertility rates are declining drastically. Okay, let's look at another one. How about Mexico's rapid shift to cheap processed calories? They're high in refined grains, high in seed oils, and definitely high in sugar. Well, guess what? Obesity and diabetes in Mexico have absolutely exploded over.
Look at that, man. Look at that. All right. This is showing you furthermore that the nations have drunk the wine of Babylon. Let's get that. Okay. That's what they own. This is 3. Revelations 18:3. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. That goes into also food, the wine, this philosophy. Part of philosophy is telling you how to eat, telling you what to ingest, telling you what to take in. You know what I'm saying? So they're taking in, these nations are being destroyed by American ways. When these ain't the proper ways. Y'all should have just kept doing what y'all was doing in the 80s and the 90s. You know? But hey, no. But hey, Job 9:24, man, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Esau is coming down with great wrath. That means also in the dietary, in the food. He wants you docile and weak, so he doesn't want you to eat properly. That's why he poisons your food continuously with the chemtrails. You know what I'm saying? He gives you fake food while he's sitting back eating a big juicy ribeye steak. You know? And you you putting the pieces together, man. Put them together, bro. Okay?
The last 2 decades. And in parts of Africa and East Africa, urbanization is driving similar patterns. Traditional, nutrient dense staples are now being replaced in many places by processed snacks, refined grains, and seed oils with the same public health outcomes. Cities that have already swapped traditional diets for ultra processed foods now have some of the highest adult metabolic disease rates in the world.
Hey, one thing in my household, I don't do the process. We don't do no process. All right? You want some fish? All right, I'm gonna go to the butcher. You know, I go straight down to the Stater Brothers. I get some salmon. All right, you know, I get it right there. Okay, we get it. Like I'm gonna make, it's the Shabbat right now, and I'm making salad tomorrow. When we wake up, we gonna eat salad. The kids too. You know, my 8-year-old loves salad. My daughter loves salad. The thing about what this world does, you leave your kids out there and, you know, allow this world to surround them, then it's gonna mess up their taste buds. Their taste buds is gonna turn artificial, where they gonna start liking artificial products, where real natural food ain't gonna be appealing to them. You know, they'll be looking at an apple like, what's that? An orange. Boy, when I tell you my daughter love orange, we be going through this alphabet. We do her alphabets every day. And we get to the letter O, it say O, orange is for, you know, O for orange. Right? And then she stopped the whole show. She stopped. She, daddy, orange, orange. You know, and I have to go get her orange. So she eat an orange damn near every day, and that's good for you. You know? So but her taste buds is on point. It ain't caught up on no bullshit. Right? So that's why we can sit back and eat a salad, put a little olive oil on the salad, you know, not too much salad dressing, right? And it hit. You can make the stuff taste good, man. And then you just gotta, it's like when you reforming your body, when you coming in, you gotta retrain and you gotta kick out the bad habits. You gotta change your taste buds. Okay? Don't be doing the midnight snacks. That's why you're gonna have a nightmare, because you eating right before you go to bed. That's not wise. Before you go to bed, you want to drink some water, or some water with some lemon. You know what I'm saying? Some tea. All right, put your body in a chance to win, in a position to win. Wake up, drink some tea. What is that gonna do? Hot tea is gonna help the body digest food from the day before, and then your bowels are gonna move. Or coconut water when you wake up, that's gonna help your bowels to move. You know, or you could do a shot of vinegar, olive oil, cayenne pepper, turmeric, and black pepper. That right there is gonna get your blood moving, and it's gonna help your stomach acids. It's gonna help you digest food as well. Right? You gotta wake that body up. Get the food that's sitting in your stomach to move, to get it up out of there. You want to move light. The lighter you are, contrary to popular belief, you have more energy. All right. All that food that you got, well, that you eat a whole big ass burger, right? And you just fall asleep. That's the itis. That's inflammation. No, you don't eat to the point where you're full. You eat to the point where you good, and then you chill, and then you move. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get some more of this, man. And Yahawah, I put this video in the bio. All right. So anybody want to check it out? It's pretty good. It's a pretty good watch.
That is the textbook outcome of a food system that prioritizes high grain, low animal foods. If countries already eating like this are drowning in metabolic disease, obesity, infertility, and nutrient deficiencies, how exactly is this diet supposed to save 40,000 lives a day? Newsflash, it's not. The grains, the seed oils, the refined carbs are now being rebranded as planet saving nutrition, and it's bankrolled by huge pharmaceutical companies that literally make billions every time someone takes the same drugs people end up on because of diets like this. Keep people hooked, sick, and dependent, and call it saving the planet. And here's the kicker. These are not fringe players. We're talking about the Rockefeller Foundation, Novo Nordisk, the company behind Ozempic and Wegovy, and behind the curtain, BlackRock, one of the biggest investors in fake meat. So what does that say to you? To help me unpack what's really going on here, I have to bring on my friend, colleague, and a very special guest that I know you guys already love and listen to because he's one of the most outspoken voices against plant-based global agendas, Dr. Anthony Chafee. The original Eat Lancet.
Hey, I'm gonna stop it right there, man. All right, hey, they on their stuff, you know. That's good to hear. And these people whistleblowing. All right. She looks to be, she could be an Edomite, she could be Moab, you know. Regardless though, she's saying the right stuff, the correct stuff. I wouldn't say she's Edomite, but it's possible. All right. But hey, it's good to hear, and these people are, you got regular modern day people that's pissed off, that's tired. All right, and they're peeping the play. Esau is being made bare. Okay, let's get that, because everybody is seeing Esau for what he is. It's Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. So this individual is exposed. He's naked, right? Seed oils, hey, that right there damages your DNA. It damages your body the most. Beyond sugar, starch, dairy, all of that. Seed oils is the worst. If you don't know now, brothers and sisters, you don't cook in vegetable oil or Crisco. You cook in avocado oil or coconut oil, okay? Or you can get some palm oil, right? Which is rare, you know what I'm saying? But you can get it out the African store, okay? It's an African store out here on I. You can get some palm oil, but you don't cook in olive oil either. Once you warm olive oil up to a certain temperature, it becomes detrimental to your body. Olive oil, that's why I said earlier with the salad, you sprinkle some olive oil on the salad. Or you take a bath, you put olive oil in the bath, and that right there gonna get your skin right. It's gonna make your skin smooth. You put olive oil on your head, you rub it on your face, you rub it in your beard. Coconut oil as well. All right, it'll help your beard to grow, keep it moist. You know what I'm saying? Your hair. Okay. You don't cook with olive oil. You can cook with coconut oil, but don't cook with olive oil. You can cook. The oils I use to cook with is grapeseed oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. Okay, they're good for cooking. They don't destroy your DNA. They don't, there's no detrimental effects in that sense. Avocado oil would be the best out of them. Or, use butter. You got ghee butter. You got certain butters out there that's solid. You know what I'm saying? It's all about reading labels and living life with a purpose. And trusting in Yahawah by Hashem Yahawashi, praying over this food and praying over everything that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Acknowledge him in all your ways, Proverbs 3:6, right? So this devil is being exposed. Nobody's falling for this, man. All right? Ain't nobody ain't nobody falling for this weak ass diet plan that you giving people. And then I'm gonna entitle this the diet of the New World Order, because that's what it's looking like it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, with that being said, pray this was edifying to the flock. Giving all praises, honor, and glory be to the Heavenly Father and His Son, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, and Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of the great millstone, which rule well and teach well, and sincerity taught us His truth. And Shalawam to the Lord's hopeful elect. Shalawam, Shalawam. As always, Kwam Yasharahla, and above all, Shalawam, Shalawam. Oh, Salaki. Right here.